Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And may blessings be upon you and all of yours and friends and neighbors, relatives, and all of your relations. Anyway, happy Sunday. It is July the 7th, I believe. And I just have been I'm always keeping an eye on things, but there's something, and there are two more earthquakes that just got posted again. I'm going to have a little bit of a sort of an Earth Wobble update, and I didn't want to put warning in the title of, oh, the quakes and this and that. But listen, my friends, something's going on out in California. I've been watching the earthquakes and things for a long time, and something is going on repeatedly down in California. Now, if that ain't Mother Nature's warning call to those folks who live down there to think twice about your options and what you're doing and so forth, I don't know what is. But the amount of energy in the last 2 days, there have been like 3,000 earthquakes since the fourth. Since so in three days, depending on if you count the fourth. So, but still, in 3 days. Um, Now, I've been discussing about the crust movement, the expanding Earth, and so forth. And a lot of people, I'm just some old whacked out hippie that's done acid and mushrooms. Yeah, okay. But here's the thing. I also watch the science and the news. I look at the planet. I look at what's going on. And this conversation just is an update of things. But we just went through the summer solstice a couple weeks ago. And so if anybody understands about the summer solstice, is when we're in slingshotting in the solar system around the sun, not necessarily in a plane, but we're trailing behind the sun slightly. But we're kind of slingshotting around. So summertime, the longest day is the fact that, we start turning ourselves, and the whole planet is starting to take its wobble and the tilt to start going back into autumn and fall and winter. So it's sort of like being in a skating rink or, ice skating or roller, I don't care. But the idea of the whiplash. So, two or three people and the person out here is hauling tail. And so it's that whiplash effect. So, plus, we just had a solar eclipse, which increases. There's three more earthquakes now, all in the Sears Valley area and Little Lake area. Ridgecrest, another one, Sears Valley. And they're all in ones, twos, threes, fours. And they're going on for the last 3 days, every few minutes. It's not like, oh, well, these things are popping. And as I was looking at different earthquake apps, they're going off, some of them in the twos and the threes, and a couple of, high threes, almost fours. There's another one in Anta, California. I don't have my glasses on anyway, but it was a 1.3, it looks like. So these things are going off. I mean, boom, 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 boom. And so in my prospects and asking, my higher self, what could be going on with this, geologically speaking, science speaking? And it's almost like it seems like something's trying to get out of the earth. I know I'm not trying to think of, maybe it's Godzilla coming out. Who knows? Maybe it's, a giant awakening. I'm not even going there. But where they have those geothermal plants is where a lot of this activity is happening in that valley. So my curiosity is more of that, with the overuse of, or we're not quite sure what they've been doing there of, along that particular area in California, that over time it has weakened the crust. I'm more susceptible to that. Not trying to, go into some kind of conspiracy. I just think that, you know, um, when we go plugging and doing things deep down in Mother Earth and go, oh, well, we're not hurting anything. Yeah, okie dokie. What's the long term effects? Well, we're not hurting anything. Yeah, well, okay. Now, there are many of us, Casey included, Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet. And I'm kind of with this, that I'm not saying that California is fixing to fall into the ocean, but there are a lot of activity down there. And I did a video a couple of days ago. There's three more earthquakes, 1.3, 1.4, 1.3, all within that same area, within a 50-mile, section of California. My point to that is, when I talked about Memphis, is this a quake warning for Memphis? My point to that is all of the energy that's coming up now in California. God bless some folks out there. There are a lot of us have been saying, the big one's going to happen. Now, if this don't tell you something in whatever your heart and soul and spirit, if it ain't telling you maybe I'm in the wrong spot, I have nothing else to say. I will continue to pray for you, but whatever happens is your choices. I hope that you will understand Mother Nature. There's two more earthquakes, a 2.2 and a 1.8. Here we go, some more. So if this isn't a warning from Mother Nature, not my warning, but Mother Nature saying, hey, y'all pay attention. What you do to me has consequences. Now, for many years now, I've been preaching and harping about this. What we reap, we shall sow, so shall ye, etc. And the idea that when we deplete Mother Earth of the oil, we badger, we pour poisons down, what do you think her response is? And also the fact that we've just gotten hit by two very large magnetic waves from out in space that did not come from the sun. Right now, we are getting some solar energy and some high proton photon stuff from the sun right now. And with a day or so, so that's going to affect some things. But there are a lot of celestial, all these other kind of things. The earth is doing its wobble. But if you think that it's at its fastest point right here, and now it's starting to make a turn, there's going to be some grunts and groans. And with all this extra energy, it's all of the magma and everything is flowing. The energy, if you go to the USGS and just show the United States and go over up to settings and open it up and check for all magnitudes for the last 7 days for the United States, you can see that the energy is moving into Oklahoma and Arkansas, Kansas. It's coming down through there. There's a lot of it. It looks like a bow, and it's pushing. Okay. And so there's two more earthquakes. That's a 2.4 in Ridgecrest, excuse me. So I'm not trying to, this is the end of the world, but there is an event going on right now that folks should pay attention to, because I don't know what it is, but as a study of geology all of my life and of the different sciences and so forth, astronomy as well as some astrology, but astronomy, planets, the earth, and so forth. Right now, planet Earth is in a change. We've all seen it. We can all feel it. It's been going on. And now there has been two very large earthquakes in Fiji today, just within the last 2 hours. There have been several very large earthquakes up around Alaska. There was a really big one of 4 point something, almost a 5 in the mid-Atlantic ridge again. There are several large earthquakes up around Greenland, one right on top of the other. I mean, like a 4 point and then another 1.9 in Sierra Valley, California. So if you know folks who are in those areas, you might suggest to them that if they can take a few vacation days, they might want to try to find another place. And I don't know where safe is, because the energy that's going on right now down there is going to transfer. It is transferring towards the east. It always does. It always has. Dutch census talked about it. Many of us who have understandings about different things on the earth, this energy transfers. Hi there, Ian. Good to see you. Blessings to you. So this is not to fearmonger, but there's something going on. And as a watchman, I also have to bring my point of view into this and go, listen, we have this combination of things going on that can help create this situation. Solar event, electromagnetical event. The Earth is expanding. There are a growing number of us who believe in the expanding Earth. I've been with the other understanding that Earth's been expanding ever since it was, it existed. And so, and we're just in a heavy duty section of the universe. We've got Mother Nature's been warning us for a long time. Many of us have felt it. I was shown it in Earth prophecies back in 2013. I'm looking down there right now and seeing there's another two earthquakes, a 1.3, a Little Lake, and Ridge Crest again, another 1.7. That's in the last 5 minutes. There's been another two earthquakes within that area again. Something's going on. But my point is still that bless those folks that are there and that are going to be affected. But I'm more curious as to where that energy's heading that's right there right now. It's got to dissipate out. There are hundreds of different kinds of zones of fractures and things down there. All this energy that's popping in the same general location, that energy is going to dissipate out. It has to. It's what Mother Nature does. And I'm saying if you live on the fringes, you may say, well, we had a rumble, but Oklahoma and Kansas is Perry, Oklahoma, or is it Kansas? Anyway, there might be a Perry, Kansas, as well as Oklahoma. But anyway, there's a lot of fracking been going on up there for a long time. And all these different things that are going on. So this energy's now where Mother Nature had a cushion, meaning the oil, we've transferred the cushion properties of oil in the ground into water with crap in it. And water is not the same property as oil. I mean, you try to change your oil out of your car or truck and pour water in where you pour the oil and tell me if it works the same. And so Mother Nature in so many ways is getting her revenge. And only because we have created so many different other fracture zones that weren't normally there. Okay. So some of these areas may not necessarily be prone for a big one, but Arkansas got hit again today. Tennessee got hit again today. North Georgia was hit just a few days ago up around Dalton. I've been telling folks over the years in my Earth Wobble discussions all along the Appalachians, So listen, this energy's coming. Now, what does it mean and what is it going to do? I got my fingers crossed, but listen, we need to hang on. There are some changes going on right now. This energy is happening as I speak. And for the last 3 days, here's 3 more earthquakes, 1.3, 07, and a 2.0, Ridgecrest, California. If I'm standing on the beach in Florida and I see off in the distance a big high rise of cloud and thunderstorms, I'm not going to get in my boat and go get in the ocean. I'm going to go, you know what? Maybe it's time I pack up my stuff. And maybe I'd take my sailboat or my tarp. Maybe I should take the lawn chairs in and put them on the carport. This is one of them times, Mother Earth, this is like a storm of sorts, if you will. If anybody who's lived on the coast of anywhere, you can do, if you just live out in the plains and you see a storm coming and it's headed your direction, you don't just stand out there. You don't put your clothes out. You take your clothes in. If you're hanging on the line, there's another one just hit. So my friends, Mother Earth is going through her changes, and she is in her extended wobble right now and making a turn. It's hard to explain, but with all the other things going on and just the conditions of the Earth, this is why this is happening. Okay, this is like, well, should we all get all up in arms about, is this the end of the world? Any day could be the end of the world for any one of us, but I don't think so. But listen, for those of us who've been talking about the changes upon Mother Earth, is she telling us, yoo-hoo, pay attention. I'm not trying to say there's any kind of alien or whatever kind of intervention. No, I'm saying that the prolonged use of the geothermal and the fracking and stuff that's been going on there for extended periods of time have exacerbated a situation. Not saying it caused it, but it's like a sponge. You take everything out of a sponge, and anyway. So the idea that we are going through this, but listen, I have this morning. I don't normally like to just go cold turkey. And hi, everybody. Amazing Grace, blessings. Ian, thumbs up. Delaney Jones. Yep. There's a whole lot of shaking going on. This is not a normal event, and I'm not here to scare, but we got to warn each other if something looks fishy. You know what I'm saying? And something looks fishy right now. And for the next week or so, that energy is going to be transferring to other locations. It's going to be going into Arkansas. All you have to do is go out and look at the USGS. There's another one, 1.6 in Johannesburg, California, but another one in California again. All you have to do is just look at the pattern of where the quakes are and how bigger they've gotten, the frequency they've gotten, and where they're headed. They're headed east. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, although Dutch Sense, I give him kudos for explaining much of the, the transition of energy and so forth. And I will say, in my opinion, Dutch Sense is more right than wrong. He is much more right than anybody else about this stuff. And but I want to throw in other factors that, not to say that he leaves out, but I think is more important, like where we are in the universe, the fact we've crossed the plane a couple of years back. We're in there's two more, one a 0.3 and a 1. And a 1.7 right down there, Little Lake, Sears Valley. So in the last 17 minutes of me having conversation with you, there's been at least 17 earthquakes in that one spot, in that one area. So, but again, it's not about what's there in that area. It's where's that energy going to transfer? What else is going to go? Now, scientists, and I've been talking about this, and others have too, but I would consider myself on the dark web, if you will, because I discuss certain things as like, well, yeah, but he's just a dumb old hippie. Yeah, but I was an engineer and I've studied geology, and I'm sorry, been around the block a time or two, and I have traveled the United States, and I've been inside the earth, spelunking in, Tennessee, North Georgia, Alabama, Florida, down here, up there, Arkansas, southern Missouri, and also been out on Mount Rainier and all up and down the coast. Not as much as I'd like, but I have at least been there, seen it, touched it, smelled it, and understand it better than not going at all. But my point to that is that Mother Nature is she's doing her thing. But she's warning us, pay attention. Mother Nature gives us warnings and signs in all things. So if you've watched my channel before, and blessings to you for that, I'm always talking about we need to make sure that our higher selves are the best way we can. So what if you get into a really horrible situation and maybe it is life-threatening? Now, would you rather be of the highest spirit? So God forbid, you take the journey soon, then maybe you would want your spirit to be as high. And I'm not trying to preach here, but I'm trying to say that maybe those people, there's a 2.7 Little Lake, California, there's 3 more earthquakes right there. So it may be that, hey, look, if the good Lord's going to take me, or if it's my time to go, I want to really do have my spirit as clean and as high a frequency as I possibly can. Now, I'm not going to go into preaching the Bible or nothing like that, but I am always talking about, regardless of what we do on this planet, it is all about where we're going, because we ain't staying here no matter what. We just can't. We can prolong our life and extend our life here and all that and make it as comfortable as possible, but none of us stay here. We're going to go somewhere else. And so in that respect, though, in the shaman basics and of the understanding of Mother Nature and of the earth, I think there's another 1.8 Little Lake, California. In the study of Mother Nature and of the shamans and of the basics of the universe, if the earth's shaking beneath your feet, do you climb a tree? I mean, well, wait a minute, let me get to the highest point, and then, crashes over, falls over, and, Or do you what you do is you find the best cover that you can in a storm. That's it. But regardless of what the storm gives us, we still got to be of a high vibration, regardless of what happens. So, but in all of this, Mother Nature, what I was told in 2013 in some visions that I have talked about, Mother Nature says that it's not a revenge issue, but Mother Nature must take back the energy that was taken from her. Now, one could say, well, all this is mystical, but in the grand scheme of things in the universe, we as these beings in the last 100 years on this planet have really done some crappy things. And what may have been just normal earth changes before, our presence, not because we drive a car, because there are idiots who are drilling deep into the earth and doing crap that shouldn't be done. There are other ways that we can travel about with vehicles and different kinds of fuels, and there's so much other ways to do this that we're just not doing it, which is a shame. But to that point, Mother Nature's just saying, listen, I'm sorry, but I got to take back some of what you've already sucked from me, meaning the energy of the planet. She's going to stop it. I don't know, but enough is enough. And we're due for all these changes anyway. Now, some of those folks would like to preach apocalypse. And I've been saying for a long time, hey, listen, for the next couple of years, with us going through the universe and the new changes in the galaxy and the energies coming from all over the place, and our magnetosphere has been just going nuts here the last, couple of weeks. Human resonance was way off the charts. There's been, some literally off the charts for 6-8 hours, and right now, it was calm before I got on here, but so the Schumann, there's another one, a 2.9, Sears Valley, California. There goes another one, as we used to say in the carny business. But the idea, though, that listen, I'm not trying to shock you. I'm not trying to scare you, but is Mother Nature going, yo, stupid? Meaning whoever is not going to pay attention to what's going on, please pay attention. There are other ways to do things, and we just haven't been taking care of things. And so if Mother Nature has to set things right in her own way, shape, or fashion, should any of us be surprised? I mean, there's a lot of energy out there, and most of us believe that Mother Nature, that the earth and plants and things, that the earth is a live being. I absolutely believe that. She is an entity. And we have been doing our best to corrupt, kill. There goes another one, a 1.4 Ridgecrest, California. So the fact that this is continuing and going on, we've got to be fracking. Hey, Maverick, how are you? I also believe in the expanding Earth theory, and this may be an expansion. Yes, Ian, this is what I'm trying to say about. I absolutely believe this is part of the expansion event, not the event of everybody talks about the event, but an expansion event because of the slingshot effect, because where some of the stars and planets are, where we are in our orbit, and this is a normal thing. It's summertime, but all of these things combined, and I absolutely do believe that we're going through an event right now. I'm hoping that it calms down some. Those are my prayers. But the feelings that I'm getting at the moment are that there's another one. There's two more, 1.6 and a 2.0, Ridgecrest again, and Little Lake, California. So these things are going off just right and left as we speak. So there are many other things on the earth and cracks. There are fractures and cracks in places that people are not aware of. And so one of the things I also want to point out before I try to keep things short, one of the things that I'd like to point out, though, that along the Appalachian and down along the New Madrid, I've talked about, and the video the other day, is this a warning for Memphis, Tennessee, because of how it sits, the age of the buildings, and the weirdness that they had an earthquake drilled not too long ago in the city there, which I think is a good thing. But the thing is that, you know, are some of the buildings around here earthquake proof? No. But they're shake proof because of hurricanes. So there's more structurally sound, but there are some buildings, you know, that still can get, you know, beat to death in a good storm around here, as we saw when the hurricane came through this last year down through here. So Mother Earth is changing. And if you're not prepared, and I'm going to include being spiritual about this too, because we don't ever know what's going to happen from day to day. And the energy that's being moved around from the sky, from inside the earth, shaking, bacon. There's another one, 1.6, Sears Valley, California. So I almost want to say it's almost like a volcano is being born. And it's almost like something wants to come out, bubble up, something. And I don't know what the results of the consequences are. But I think we should absolutely, and I'm talking about people in the Midwest, you know, if you look on the USGS for like the last 30 days, you'll see where there's, you know, North Georgia's been hit several times. Middle Georgia's been hit several times. There's a fault line around South Carolina, North Carolina, and also down along the Savannah River between Georgia and South Carolina. Those lines, those are all fault lines. I mean, they had a pretty big one back in the day in South Carolina. They've had them in Richmond and all up in Virginia and off the coast of New Jersey recently. Mother Earth is moving. And whatever, there's two more, 2.2, and I missed the other one. But coming in right now. So wherever you are, you're prone. This energy's here, and it's going to work, shaking, rattling, and rolling. So, like I said, I want to sit here like, oh my God, we're all going to die. No, but could some of us? Absolutely. So always have your spirit in control. And I'm wishing, hoping that for those people like me who have known that there's just been some kind of earth change coming, I don't want to be right. Every time an event happens that I've had a quote dream of, vision of, I don't like it. I mean, it's horrible. There's death and pain and there's stuff in there. I mean, I've seen people get baked alive in lava flows. This to me is not a pretty vision that I wish to share with anyone. I have shared it. I talked about the Guatemala incident before and the vision that I had about it and before it and afterwards. And guess what? Here's another incident, and Spirit's telling me to just put this into the universe. This is Mother Nature's warning. There's something going on. Pay attention. Don't just fluff this off as a one-time event, because Fiji just got hit with two 5-point somethings, not on top of each other, but in the same area. So, and if you look at the Pacific Rim over there, they've been getting hammered. This energy's been moving towards us. And I mean the whole eastern side of the Pacific Plate for a while. And now it's here. And it's going to rock and roll. How bad it's going to get? Not a clue. But they are my higher angel spirits. My Mother Mary message is, folks, if you've had an earthquake anywhere near your area recently and that you should check, bolt stuff to the wall. You know, I mean, you don't want all your fine china dumping on the floor because you never had an earthquake before. You know, there are simple things you can do. What if your water pipes break? What if you have a gas line to break? Well, most folks, there's another one, 1.1 on Geo Springs. I can't, my glasses, I'm sweating too much. It's a warm day here. But anyway, tell your friends, and I wish us to stay out of panic mode, but this is a damn sure Mother Nature's warning us. This is not Hawkeye warning you. Mother Nature's telling us. Pay attention to this event. And I'm just one of the spokespersons for Mother Earth. Pay attention to this event. That's as far as I can get with that. But look in your areas. I mean, you know, there's a hurricane, you know, trying to form right off the coast of Florida. We had rain and stuff yesterday, and it's in the area. And it's like, where did this come from? It literally, if you watch the thermals and how the clouds, it was a big circle. There's two more earthquakes, a 1.3 and a 1.6, Little Lake, both at Little Lake, California. So one hit and then another one hit. Man, shoot, whatever's going on down yonder, But I'm still, my concern is, where is that energy going to transfer? If that's not the only spot, my friends, that's what Spirit's wanted me to tell you, and for you to tell some folks. So, I mean, I've got relatives in Tennessee and up along the Appalachians. They need to bolt their stuff to the wall. They maybe get in for some shaking. A 2.6 or a 3.0, which is not that high on the scale for an area that's not prone to this, is, you could lose glass and a window or two could break. So you should have some extra stuff. Have an extra roll of duct tape. Have some cardboard or something that you could put over a window in the case that their house shook a little bit and a window cracked. I mean, there are some things that you can do that are really simple that can get you out of a tight. So, but the idea though, that if you've never had an event, or the event's been so small it's not affected you, you got to look at what's going on in California and go, this is Mother Nature telling all of us, pay attention. Somebody else jumped in here. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on and squint for a minute. I do love chatting with you. Yeah, I left off with what someone said up there about the expanding earth. Yeah, what's shaking? Yeah, Ian Barber. Okay, I see your last name. Yeah. Who was above that? Delaney. I got vids from 6 years ago telling what was coming, but no one cares. I agree, Delaney. I've been trying to explain to folks, listen, if nothing else, you got to pay attention to yourself. And I'm going to do another video about this, but and this is one of those angel message kind of deals, in that, of all the things we worry about, how much do we worry about our own spiritual self? And with events that are going on, I mean, Jerry Epstein or whatever finally got arrested. While this, there's some things moving in places, going on, things going, and I'm not going to go into any of the Q stuff or nothing like that. But to the point though, there are things happening all over the place, not just in one area, this thing, that thing. There are transformations happening. And many of us have been, quote, warned, or, forethought, if you will, about this seventh 1.4 Little Lake, California, about the 7/7 of 2019 today. And so look what's happening. Now, was this a foreshadowing for all of us? Starting on the 4th of July, the fireworks, boom, big earthquake, 2 of them in California. Now, but that's like, okay, but it's the fact that this event is continuing as I speak right now that's kind of got me it's got my alert button going, like, this isn't a normal, well, okay, this will work out now. Something else is going on here. And we need to watch it. Now, like I say, is the earth going to flip? Is that, I know. This is a lot of stored energy that's been heading our way. And I've talked about it. One of these days, it's going to build up, hit us, but the energy is still going to transfer. There's been too much Western Pacific Rim with Japan and everybody. There's been way too many big ones over there and not enough big ones over here, flat out. And that ain't how it works. And so that's plain and simple, so we're finally catching up to what the other side of the Pacific has been experiencing for quite some time. And today, Fiji's got hit by 2 really good strong ones. Again, they're all over the place. And Bolivia, South America, Chile, all along the Pacific Rim there. Them folks have been getting hammered for a while. And it's been really quiet up here. It's our turn. All that energy north, south, and all around the Pacific plate is, I'm not saying it's centering at this particular point, but for whatever's going on at this particular place, there is an event going on. It's obvious. Now, I'm fingers crossed, but everybody pay attention to this. This is Mother Nature saying, yoo-hoo. I blew the whistle once. Here's 3 more, 1.4, a 1.7, and a 1.6. And all in the same area. So since I've been on this 35 minutes, and there's been 35 earthquakes in the same place. Now, if that's not an event, sorry, and I'm not here to scare you. But if you can't see what's around you, then Get out. If you're standing in an alligator pit, as they say in the South, then get out. Don't punch them in the nose and piss them off. You just get out. Find one and and get out. Three of them, unbelievable, and just again, wow. So, my friends, let me. Something got stuck here. I want to finish reading what you got. Yep. So I caught up with that one. Oh man, they came in another 1.6 and another 1.9. Oh, they were on top of each other. Maverick George, good to see you. Fracking the water. Where is it going? 200 billions of ice melted off of Greenland. Yep. Things are moving. Hi, Tammy LaFleur. Africa is splitting too. Yeah, up on the western side over there. Yeah, there's a lot of Madagascar over there. Sweet pea blessings. If the Memphis, Delaney says, if the Memphis New Madrid pops, I will feel it. And yes, you absolutely will feel it in Wisconsin. And Sweet Pea, what's shaking back? Maverick says, nature will take its course. Think of it someone like a tire that's out of balance. Absolutely, that's exactly right. Planet expands, the pocket filled with water, magma, and yep, steam engine underground. Absolutely. And the fact that the fracking has opened up passages that weren't normally there before. They were plugged with oil. So now, where the water turns now into steam, to your point, now the steam evaporates, boom, lava's moving. Well, and I've reported several times, not to brag, but to say that this information has been out there. Not that I'm right. I hate being right about this stuff. I do. But at the same time, as a watchman, it's my duty to say, pay attention to the signs. If you're in the swamp and the water's rising, get your shit close, to higher ground. Whether it's raining or not, there's water somewhere. I was down on the Ocklawahnee River a couple of years ago, and twice in the same season, we had a huge tropical storm come in from the south that we couldn't see on where I was at on the river. And the thunderstorms came in and flooded below us so much that there was 2 foot of water that came in and flooded our campsite within an hour and a half. I mean, we were scrambling to get out of there. The water was flowing back up the river. So it's like, can Mother Nature do some freaky things? You betcha. And if you're in an area or even close to an area, I mean, and now I know why, my spirit has kept me from moving to the mountains. It's like, no, you don't need to. Yeah, but why am I stuck down here in South Georgia? It's probably some of the stablest ground, right now, possibly on the planet compared to other places, other things. Not to say I got a sweet deal, but I know what my elevation is and I know how far away from both oceans I am. And, there's going to be a lot of other people in trouble before it gets to me. And I got boats. Can you tread water? No, I don't know. But the plates are moving and things are happening. And, there are places down in Florida, Miami sinking. They're talking about the water rising. The water's not rising because other places around here then would be flooded. It's not. Miami's sinking. Duh. You put all that crap on top of it and all the vibration of all the cars and the people and the buildings and all that stuff shakes down into the earth. Miami's settling into whatever ocean you choose to pick. It'd be the Atlantic side, but that's like, don't take a rocket scientist. You don't build high things on places that doesn't have bedrock. Duh. I don't care what you do. There's 3 more earthquakes, a 1.3, a 2.3, and a 2.8. Ridgemont, the Seals Valley again, or Sears Valley, whatever it is, same location. So this mess is going on. I continue to pray for the planet. I continue to pray for each and every one of you. But, I know you guys take these things seriously, but we just don't need to, necessarily scare anybody, but we need to pass the word along in a nice way. Listen, Mother Earth is telling us. Yeah, I've been inside Florida, Delaney Jones. Yep. Sweet Pea says, we are getting zapped like ants here. 30,000 hectares on fire. Holy crap. That's nature takes its course. Think of it like, out of balance tire. I have talked about that, Maverick, over the years, that that's one of the best ways to look at what's going on with the Earth. But she's not necessarily out of balance, but we are going through this yearly phase. And so, but all these, and I agree with the point that you're making, Maverick. Um, it's that out of balance is magnified by these other events. There, I've said it. I'm repeating myself again, but it's hot in here, and I'm like, oh, gee, many Christmas. It's not the heat so much as the humidity. It's the weather's been weird, but the thunderstorms that have popped up yesterday, it was like there were pockets, and I'm sitting here looking out the window, and all of a sudden there's a huge, humongous thunderstorm cloud thingy, and it's starting to connect with whatever is over in the Gulf. There's 2 more earthquakes. Same location, California, yeah, same valley. And like, so there's a hurricane going to form right off the coast of Florida. Well, it's not impossible, but they usually form down in the Gulf and come up here, I mean, so the fact that the planet is off balance, the jet streams and everything don't really know where to go because, our magnetosphere is doing this pulse number, which is affecting, I mean, if our magnetosphere can go like this, water molecules, all of our cells, everything's going like woo, 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 woo. I've been inside one of those, you got to take all the metal off, and they go and put you in and scan your brain. One of those magnetic machines. Anyway, I can't think of the name of it at the moment. But it goes boom, ding, boom, 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 hum, 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 boom. So you're sitting in this gigantic magnetic field, magnetic resonance, MRI. Yeah. There's a CT scan, which I've had both of, but the idea though that when you're in that field, all I can say is, man, I come out of there kind of like a little weird. People say, "Oh, you're all right." Wait a minute, you just zapped me with how much money? You can't. You got people standing 30 feet away from the machine that can't wear a badge with metal on it, and you're telling me that I'm going to stick my head in this machine, but it's going to have zero effect on me or any of my brain cell stems, neurons, or anything. It's going to have no effect at all. And I'm like, duck, you come out of there kind of like, dude, that was the best dunk I ever had. I mean, it took me a couple of days to go, huh? People are like, what's wrong with you? Well, I don't know. Man, that made MRI. Oh, there's nothing to it. Yeah, you go stick your head in there for a couple of minutes, let them run you back and forth and come out and go, feel the same? Just saying, but the idea, though, that the Earth is being radiated in such a way, it does have effects on us. I mean, we're getting zapped by UV rays. I mean, when I look at the Tallahassee and the Albany stations, both have the UV rays, even with the cloud cover at extreme as 11. 11. It should be 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, maybe. It's 11 with cloud cover. Now, I don't know about the rest of the world, but, I check on my area. But if I'm getting zapped, we're all getting zapped. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is happening in the universe and whatever is happening to the Earth. So, and this is having a direct response with the Earth. So, my friends, I'm going to go get something to drink and go check on the chickens and just send blessings out to everybody. Be nice when you try to warn folks about this, because they're going to try to think you're trying to sell them on the apocalypse. There's always an ending, but with every ending, there's always a beginning. So however you want to look at that, but there's a 2.5, a 2.1, and a 1.4, same area, just hit again. So, folks, if this isn't Mother Nature warning us that she's going through some changes, let's all be careful. Let's keep up with the good ideas. Maverick, add vibration to water and mud. Remember, mud patties, you could sink anything. Exactly. And that was Maverick, to your point there. That's what I was talking about the other day in my video about a quake warning for Memphis, because the New Madrid is not like the West Coast at all. and that they've talked about it and proved it. And that sand, when you vibrate it, down you go. It'll suck whole buildings. And so they changed the course of the Mississippi River in several places. There's our horseshoe lakes in Arkansas that were created because of the earthquake on the New Madrid back in the 1800s. I've fished on it, I've kayaked on it way back in the day. But to the point, that's where some of these horseshoe river lakes came from. The Mississippi used to do this curly Q, and it cut them off in several places and created others. So, can this happen again? It happened before. If it cut whole sections of the river off and we think, this is a minor event, were they paying attention to what was going on in California at the time? Did we have that kind of data that would suggest an event like that could even happen on the New Madrid? Now we have the data. Now Mother Nature's going, you pay attention. So my friends, I hope you and all of yours will pay attention. Blessings to you. There's another one, a 1.6. I'm hoping that this thing, that it settles out okay, but that's a lot of energy that's being produced. Aren't you curious as to from where, why that one spot? Now, there are other areas all along the area, but that one spot is getting obviously hammered. So let's pray for the folks that are in that area. Please take this seriously. That energy is going to dissipate over the next 2 weeks. Easy. And it could extend further than that. If there's not another earthquake, there's still enough energy that's been transferred to cause major issues with, mudslides, settling things, poles going knocked over, not necessarily killing people, but, creating havoc in areas where the planet's going to settle after these events. So please be safe. Please be kind. Please also keep compassion in your heart. And for some of the people that I've been talking to, I know all of you spread the love and the light of the infinite universe. As I always try to end the videos with, I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to accept and receive the energy from the universe and continue to accept and receive the healing, the knowledge, and the blessings. Continue to share with your friends and family. This is a strange time right now, but maybe we should all seriously take what nature provides us, like a storm coming in from the Gulf or the Atlantic. Time to batten down the hatches and whatever, and be safe, everybody. All right. So I'm out of here. TTFN for now. Stay safe, stay hydrated, bolt stuff to the wall if you need to. Bye, my friends. Until next time, this is Hawkeye Two Feathers saying, I'm out of here from South Georgia.